All right, I think we're rolling. This video will be done by me, Vera, and an ice pack because I think I messed up my back in the gym today. So if you used AI the right way, not only could it tell you your next business idea, but it could tell you your next six-figure business idea based on what you love doing. I get to wake up and do what I love every single day, and I'm not saying this to brag or just because I'm lucky. I built this for myself. But saying that, there's no reason why you shouldn't do the same either. I don't know if you believe in science, but I think you clicking on this video definitely is one. It's time to stop doing what you hate and start doing what you love and getting paid 6 figures for it or more. 7 figures, 8 figures, perhaps you're a billionaire, future billionaire, hello? So in this video, if you stay with me, I'll show you exactly how to use AI to figure out what it is that you're meant to be doing and how to make that a very profitable venture. Perhaps you're watching this, what is this girl doing? Who is she with an ice pack? And I want to show you my morning mindset. My mom actually gave this to me. Let your light shine. Today's going to be a great day. You will get through this. Well, nice to meet you. My name is Vera. I run a 6-figure boutique marketing agency called V-Factor Social. We help develop and build really strong personal brands for founders and their businesses. And I also am a content creator influencer that has worked with brands like Notion, Microsoft Edge, Samsung, Spotify, you name it. But here's the funny bit. I never in a million years thought I would ever end up in marketing or like entrepreneurship, business as a concept. I never thought I did. To be fair, in 5th grade when I looked like this, like a little baby of a child, I remember I was talking to my best friend at the time and she was like, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I said, I want to be an entrepreneur. At that time, I thought entrepreneurship just meant working for yourself, not like building anything, just working for yourself, having autonomy. But at the time, I was set to be a professional tennis player, actually. I then started taking college classes in high school. I thought I was going to go to college. I decided to skip that altogether, graduated high school early, and I started my first business officially, which was coaching. I'll need to dive into that in a separate video, but point is, I never thought that I'd be doing what I'm doing. However, it is a perfect intersection of my most valuable skills, and it is something that turns out I absolutely love. I guess that should have been obvious considering I've been making content for most of my life, but hey, it didn't click that was actually marketing. But here's the thing, if I used ChatGPT or any of the AI tools, I probably could have figured this out sooner. And another caveat, if I had been more open-minded, because this is a huge thing. So I ask, as we go into this video, I want you to just open your mind like a door. Just fully open that shit. Common misconception is that AI is a third-person omniscient. It is not so. You do have to verify everything it says. But a big strength of it is that it can actually help you figure out your natural skills and what you're naturally good at. Because one of its top applications is pattern recognition. And that's something us living in our own bodies, in our own heads, it's really hard for us to figure out what is it that we're naturally good at. So in this video, I'll be sharing step-by-step prompts that you can do right now, right upon watching this, or even as you're watching with this, to help you get one step closer to monetizing your passion. All right, real talk. The reason why most people can't monetize what they love isn't because their passion isn't profitable, it's because they're not thinking like a business owner, founder, entrepreneur. If you actually want to monetize anything, you have to stop treating it like a hobby and start treating it like a system. And I know this sounds super boring. I'm just not a systems person, I'm a creative. Believe it or not, I'm an insane creative too. I thrive creatively, but creativity can also be learned and it can be untapped. But if you're already creative and the thing that you lack is thinking in systems or just systematic thinking in general, guess what? That's a skill that can be easily learned. And another reason why people struggle to monetize is they're scared of new ideas. And honestly, as humans, rightfully so, we want a guaranteed outcome instead of a unique path, because forging a unique path is much harder. Who wants to take the road less traveled? Raise your hand. I'm not raising mine. It's hard. It's hard out here, but it's so worth it. But I will give you an example to inspire you. There are actually people out there who are absolutely thriving because they did create their own path. One of my favorite examples is an influencer, Hallie Kate. She's currently pulling in more than 3 million a year for certain. I'm guessing probably around 5 and above just from brand partnerships. She's worked with huge brands, has a huge following, but her story is actually, so she moved to New York at the ripe young age of 18. She went to fashion school, got into huge debt because fashion school is expensive, started creating content that started becoming profitable as a fashion influencer. So literally applying what is it that she's passionate about and what she was studying, and now she's making absolute bank. And that's part of the reason why she got there, is because she wasn't scared to try out new things. She wasn't scared of new ideas. She wasn't like, no, I'm going to fashion school. I just have to work with fashion in this specific way. She was open. She didn't change her love for fashion. She just used a modern approach, which is through being an influencer on social media. Let's talk about the bigger picture. AI is not replacing creativity. If anything, it's amplifying that. And my last video is exactly on this. How to use AI in your marketing to amplify your creativity instead of replace it. AI can give you clarity way faster than your journal ever could because it's more objective. Not a third-person omniscient, doesn't know everything, but way more objective than you could ever be about your own life. And when you pair that clarity with consistency, you start seeing the kinds of opportunities that you never otherwise would. And that's why my personal belief, the future belongs to those who can learn and are okay with thinking differently instead of just playing it safe. Even from a psychological standpoint, you cannot grow and be comfortable at the same time. Your amygdala is responsible for keeping you in your comfort zone, protecting you, like making sure good, nurture, homeostatic, I guess. And in order for you to grow and accomplish all that you want in this video, you have to get out of your comfort zone. So take a step out for a sec. All right, friends, let's get into this. First step is finding your Ikigai. There's been a lot of debate in terms of what Ikigai actually is in Japanese culture. However, the Americanized concept of it is it's an intersection of what it is that you love, what it is that you've been told that you're good at, and what is it that you can monetize, aka fill a specific need in the market. The first prompt I came up with that you can plug into ChatGPT or whatever AI you use the most is this. Help me identify my Ikigai by listing what I love, what I'm good at, what people will pay for, and what problems I can solve based on what I share in this chat. And then as soon as you send that and ChatGPT or Claude or whoever you use, that's scary, whatever you use, confirms what you're gonna do is you're gonna click the audio tool. It can be voice to text. I wouldn't recommend talking to it because then it's gonna start responding really awkwardly and that's just no fun. I fear it's time I put my analytical glasses on. And then you're just gonna yap for anywhere up to 30 minutes for as long as you need to. You can be on a walk, you can be just doing chores, you can just be sitting locked in fully on figuring this out for yourself. And just about everything you've been good at, everything you are good at, things that you gravitate towards. And based off of that, what do we say? AI is good at pattern recognition. It's gonna recognize those patterns and spit them out to you. Which leads you into prompt 2. Based on everything I've said so far, what are the top 5 skills or topics I naturally lean toward, and how could those transfer to new career or business model? This is when AI is gonna take a paintbrush and do huge, big, broad brushstrokes. We're not Michelangeloing our way in here. We're starting big, we're starting broad, we're starting visionary, general. Like, what is it that I could potentially do? We're gonna narrow it down though, eventually as we move forward. Now for this next prompt, if you have a resume, awesome. If you don't, for whatever reason, you can also just, once again, open your AI, click the little microphone button and talk about the work you've done in the past. If you have everything on your LinkedIn, for example, you can use Perplexity or ChatGPT agent, I believe can access that, and then have it analyze your LinkedIn and then go into this prompt. Analyze my past job titles, experiences, and interests to find intersections between my skills and profitable market needs. Everything you discover in these 3 prompts, I want you to take a piece of paper. For example, I have here, I'm actually a paper girl, believe it or not, but I'm also very digital. I have to-do lists literally on every single device, which is interesting, but hey, I have my own method. And then you're gonna note some common things, like some common patterns that you see repeating over and over and over. Is it the fact that you're analytical? ChatGPT spitting it out to you like, hey Vera, you're actually quite analytical. Is it the fact that you're creative? Is it the fact that you're really great at managing people? What's that big thing that you're good at? And ideally make a list of 3 to 5 recurring ones. Now we're going into step 2, which is all about researching profitable niches and rising industries. If you want to start a successful business, one of the easiest ways to do that is, we're not saying passionate, we're saying successful here, is to go into a niche that's already on the rise. Because I can think of it as piggybacking off of something that's already working. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad concept, because especially if you combine that with your passion, you already have something pretty solid. For example, me as a marketer, once again, never thought I'd be one. Literally never thought I'd be one. I could not predict this for the life of me. However, it's a career I kind of thrive in. It's a career I made for myself, but hey, I'm kind of thriving. The creator economy by 2030 is projected to reach $500 billion. So guess what? Even if I have one of 500 of it, that means I'm a billionaire. Will I be a billionaire? Find out in another video. However, it is a profitable niche that's growing and I can grow with it. And if I stick myself like a little leech, okay, to this like fat, juicy, bloody, meaty niche, and I'm just a little leeching off of the industry, I can get some of that. I can get some of that, and I think it's awesome. So a prompt you can use prompt for is, what are the top 10 growing industries for independent creators and founders between 2025 and 2030? This is within the next 5 years. If you want to think ahead, go ahead. But typically, I think the things that we're going to be seeing like on the rise in 15 years, they're already somewhat prevalent in these next 5 years. So I would personally start in the next 5 years. Now, once you have that, prompt 5. Based on my interest in, and here you're gonna take that list, that recurring list with all the ChatGPT, Claude, whatever topics, like the recurring ones that you're good at. You're gonna narrow it down to one topic that is most recurring. You're like, you know what, this feels right. And for the purpose of this exercise, if you're anything like me, I can be quite indecisive. I'm like, hey, I have way too many inputs. Like it's hard for me to narrow it down. I feel like I just cannot. What you're gonna do is just pick one. Pick one of the 3, it does not matter. We'll figure it out, I promise. It's just gonna take a little bit of time, so start with that. Based on my interest in, insert topic, what sub-niches are currently underserved or trending upward? And if you wanna take it a step further, instead of just asking it, because chat like AI, they pull from YouTube, Reddit, those kind of data sources, and of course renowned publications like Forbes. What you can also do is do a little research assignment. So this can be turned into AI agent prompt. If you also have Notion AI agent, it also works with that. But basically just have it serve the web for you and identify the top underserved niches that are trending upward. Have it pull from credible data sources. It is ridiculous that we have to prompt AI in that way, but that's something I always do. Anytime you want like sort of research, prompt it so that it's pulling from actually relevant data sources. That's important. And then prompt 6, which also could be like an AI agent prompt, is analyze global trends and social data to find 3 emerging markets where my skills could have a competitive edge. Okay, you see, we're starting with the one part of the circle of like, what am I good at? What do I love? Like, what am I all about? Who am I? And then we're going into, okay, could I monetize? And then merging the two, you're gonna find your Ikigai Americanized version, aka your next business idea that you can stick in. Now we're on to step 3, identifying your problem solution fit. Covered circle 1, covered circle 2. Now we're moving on to circle 3 and finding the intersection between that. For the next prompt this is all in the same conversation. So you're gonna ask, for the niche I'm exploring, what are the top 5 recurring problems or frustrations people in that space talk about online? And AI is gonna have a field day with this, okay? Loves, like this is its exact purpose. And once again, if you wanna take it a step further, activate AI agent mode when it can actually go through the web for you, pull specific articles, like turn it into a table, whatever. These prompts are meant to be general. If you know how to prompt AI well, feel free to really narrow it down, but this is the general idea. And once you have all of that, you're gonna go into prompt 8, which is list 3 ways I could turn my skills into a service, product, or offer that solves one of those problems directly. So as you can see here, monetizing your passion is equivalent to directly solving a problem that exists in the world, but more specifically in your niche, in your market, in your industry that you have chosen for the purpose of this little exercise. And once again, if you're anything like me at this point, I would start tweaking it a little bit. I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, what do I know about this? What do I know about this problem? Chill, daddy, chill, calm down, it's okay. Once again, as we said in the beginning of this video, one of the purposes is to be open-minded, okay? So open that mind like a door and just allow the information to pour in. Just study it, like be an observer in your own body. Because I can imagine that this step would start to create a lot of resistance. And now we're moving it into step 4, which is clarify your offer. What's an offer? What's an offer? I'm not a coach, I'm not a consultant, I don't do mentorships like an offer. An offer, any business has an offer. Even when you buy, for example, I don't know, these microphones, I think it's Hollyland Lark. I use them and they're awesome. This is an offering in and of itself. It just happens to be in physical form. If I'm selling mentorship, that is an offer. Agency Factor Social, we offer done for you social media management. That is an offering, okay? Offer can have different shapes and different forms, but you need to clarify what it is first, like what the main idea is before really narrowing it down. So next prompt is, based on my skills, target audience, and niche, generate 3 offer ideas that I could deliver as a service, product, or digital offer. I will give you a preface. My personal opinion is that it is absolute easiest and it's the lowest barrier to entry to start with a digital offering instead of trying to manufacture a product. Unless you have the passion for it, which is, hey, that is awesome, could not be me. Digital is always best. You can always package your skill set and your offer into a digital offer or as a service, like a done for you service. And I just find that it's a lot easier. The margins are better. Everything is just clear. There are no returns. That's also a big bonus. For each offer, list what makes it valuable, scalable, and different from what already exists. If you want to take it a step further, activate your AI agent. Have it scour the web for you. A practical use case that I can present is right now we're developing an ad campaign for Factor Social. Yay! So of course, who's the media buyer? Me. We actually worked with a guy, he's our team, for launching this ad campaign in the past, but we're relaunching it and I want to do it myself. So whatever. Long speech is to show you that in terms of launching this ad campaign, I had to create a funnel for it, like landing to a booked call sequence. And for the landing page, I wanted to make sure that our landing page was similar to the offers that were already out there, yet still pretty unique. So how do I identify, what landing page unique? Do I just go into my head and ask like, what would I like in a landing page? No, because I'm not my client target avatar. So what I did is I prompted ChatGPT to do AI agent research for me and research similar offers, like very specifically. It'll link those, and then I asked it to analyze each one of those landing pages and create a structure. And then I took that structure and I made it better, which is our landing page for Factor Social. Yay! Now step 5, building your visibility strategy using social media. That is the easiest tool. It is, if you're doing it yourself, it's basically like free marketing. It truly is. This step will have to do with my favorite topic ever. So guess what it is based on everything you know about me. Before we go into it, I do want to clarify that in order for you to create content on social media, you do not have to love content creation. You do not have to be a creator. Think of social media as just an extension of marketing. And what is marketing if we dive a little bit deeper? It is the marriage between sales and psychology. And these two skills, every entrepreneur and every person in the world that wants to be successful needs. You need to know how to sell well, and you need to understand basic human psychology. If you marry the two, you get marketing. And if you go a little bit further and you analyze where is marketing heading, social media. The creator economy is going to be over $500 billion by 2030 because of social media. So that's a disclaimer I wanted to make and wanted to put it out there so that you don't go yelling at me, hey, I'm not a content creator, I don't like creating content. You can also outsource it. That's what Factor Social is for. But if you do not have the funds for that right now, if that's not an investment you can make, if that's not a priority for you right now, I promise you can learn how to do it in a very easy and simple way. And guess what? Build some awesome skills in the process. I've been on camera for most of my life, and even if I stopped creating content right now, the hard skills and the soft skills that I've built just doing that are insane. My communication has improved, my confidence has improved, the way that I present myself and articulate my ideas, I feel like has gotten pretty stellar, and I would never be able to get here unless I was creating content. And this is if we're completely disregarding the career doors that has opened for me and the opportunities that I got as a result. Anyway, 11 is create a 30-day content strategy for your niche that helps me attract the right audience and build authority, even if I'm starting from zero. It's gonna give you a bunch of ideas, okay, and you can clarify what kind of content you love creating. If you're busy, which as founders, aren't we all? I would recommend also plugging in your schedule into there and being like, hey, I only have 2 hours a week, or I only have 3 hours a week, or I only have 10 hours a week, whatever your cutoff is. So then that way you create a plan that actually fits into your schedule. The biggest mistake I see aspiring content creators making is the fact that they're like, hey, in order for you to grow, Alex Hormozi said you have to be posting 3 times a day minimum, but at bare minimum once a day. So I'm gonna start posting once a day. Guess what? You're gonna burn out. You're gonna burn out. Unless it's a thing that's in your schedule, you will burn out. So the best way to get consistent with content is to start building that consistently, like a building block. Even if you dedicate 10 minutes every 2 days towards creating a video and like you tap and you post, okay? You can scale that to 15 minutes a day. You can scale that to 1 hour per day, every day. Way easier than if you're like, okay, I'm going from 0 to 0. That's it. I'm posting 100 times this year. Will not happen. Trust me, just will not happen. Unless maybe you're in some like challenge for yourself. But my personal belief is with productivity and output, you have to make it as easy for yourself as possible. That is the only way that it actually gets done. So now once you have your content strategy for 30 days, you can narrow it down and use a prompt like, write 5 content hooks that position me as a thought leader in this niche. In order for you to use ChatGPT or any AI effectively in terms of content, you have to know content really well, like in terms of what works. So before you even do that, I would recommend just going on social media, analyzing 10 top performing content videos in your industry. Just see like what the hook is like, how it typically is. Start to notice trends. And that is important because that relates to, once again, the marriage of sales and psychology. Unless you know what makes a hook good, ChatGPT will spit something out for you. You'll read it, you'll go, oh yeah, all that. But I guarantee that is pretty much not good. And also in terms of content, I did want to mention, you do not have to be on every single platform. This is for this very reason, we created a video, the best 5 platforms to grow your business in 2025. So we go through every single platform, what the pros are, what the cons are, what kind of content is there, what kind of people are successful in there, so that you can choose the best platform for you. Once you have the content hooks, you can go down and start prompting it with content scripts and just basically like we this ginormous thing from 2 different circles. Now we have 3, and then we're just really narrowing down into something specific where now you already have an actionable plan. And once again, prompt 13 really goes over this, but ask chat to suggest a daily or weekly routine for balancing content creation with your main job or your main business, whatever it is that you're doing. It will make it easier. All right, my work here is done. If this video helped you, let me know what prompt you're trying first and what you're starting with, and if you actually are doing the prompts. It's one thing to watch a bunch of YouTube videos on the topic and be like, that's it, I'm starting. But starting is a completely other thing. So if I can recommend one thing for you, block some time off today, even if it's 10 minutes, and just get started on this, because done is better than perfect. And if you're already building a business and you're ready to turn it into authority brand, this is what we do here at Factor Social. So give me a call, because you know who'll pick up me. I apparently can't speak anymore. It's really the ice from my spine going straight to the brain. If you have any questions throughout this process, anything's unclear, anything's confusing, or you have suggestions for future videos, let me know in the comments. Subscribe so that we stay together and you don't lose touch of me, and you can keep learning and growing your business, and have an awesome rest of your day. Bye. Talk soon.